Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. I'm Marc De Jesus, a digital accessibility specialist here at AWeb, and today we'll be diving into the topic of headings. So some things to keep in mind when it comes to headings is that just because some text visually looks like a heading does not mean that it functions as a heading. If an element is coded as a heading, it must act as a heading. You may style text to look like headings if it makes sense visually, but you should not use heading markup if it does not function as one. It is best practice to have a level 1 heading present on a page. While it is not a weak heading failure, so in other words, it's not a requirement or an accessibility issue, it'd be best for each page to have a level 1 heading that is similar to the page's title. Lastly, heading levels are critical to information hierarchy. So headings introduce new sections of content and denote following subsections of related content. Heading levels are not about a visual presentation, but rather categorizing the page's content to a hierarchy. So when it comes to native versus custom headings, using native elements for their intended purpose is always recommended. So if possible, use native HTML heading elements such as H1s, H2s, H3s, etc. In a semantically correct manner. If native HTML headings cannot be used, then add a role heading with the appropriate ARIA level attributes. Some common misconceptions when it comes to headings is that every new section should start with a level 1 heading. While we understand that it makes the page look more visually appealing, level 1 heading should be used once at the start of the main page content. Once a single level 1 heading has been used, then each following section can be introduced using a level 2 heading to follow the appropriate heading level for the informational hierarchy of the page. Another common misconception is that users may have to sacrifice style for proper heading levels. There are many ways to customize your heading style while adhering to accessibility guidelines. You can use CSS or custom heading markup to maintain your desired design while using correct heading levels. So on this page, I have a screenshot that was taken from our accessible web homepage. It's an example of a section being introduced by level 2 heading. It says professional services to support your accessibility projects. You can see that the heading is outlined by our tool in green, with the H2 in the top right-hand corner identifying the heading level. Following this heading are several images, and below each image are the headings manual audits, ally partner programs, and accessibility testing. It's currently covered by my camera. The related sections within this parent section are outlined in blue, again, which is identified by our tool, showing that they're defined as level 3 headings. So regarding headings and contrast, headings must comply with contrast guidelines, but the requirements may differ from regular smaller text. Some heading text may have larger font sizes and font weights as well. So if your text is large, so 18.24 pixels or more, or in bold, 14 points or 19 pixels or more, they must reach a contrast ratio of at least 3:1 against the background. If your heading text is smaller than 18 points or 24 pixels or more and not bold, it must reach a contrast ratio of at least 4.5:1 against the background. So here we can see a screenshot taken from our color contrast checker of a white text on purple background, and its contrast ratio is 7.56:1, which satisfies the contrast minimum for both small and large text, as well as for UI components. It's also important to note that headings text meets contrast ratio against background images. So if you have heading text overlaid on an image or an ambient video, that heading text must also meet the appropriate contrast requirements. So who benefits from headings? A wide variety of people, including screen reader users and people with cognitive disabilities. Individuals with visual impairments, such as blind and low vision users, often use screen readers to navigate content. Properly structured headings help screen readers present a clear outline of the content, allowing users to jump directly to sections of interest. People with cognitive disabilities also benefit as well, because having clear hierarchical headings make it easier to understand and follow the structure of content, which benefit them by breaking down information into manageable chunks, which decreases cognitive load. So how can we help? Our guided audit tool can identify and outline the headings on a page, including their respective levels. If a page contains numerous headings, it may be beneficial to explore consulting services and accessibility audits. An accessibility specialist can help assess heading levels, identify missing headings, and evaluate proper heading usage. Additionally, we provide VPAS to support whether all heading content on your page complies with accessibility standards. So thank you for taking the time to join us for this short webinar.